Hoi toy, welcome back to Transfixed, the channel that is ready to get recarded. Yes, we've had G.I. Joe Resolute, Retaliation, Renegades, Reloaded, Reinstated, and now recarded. Another G.I. Joe video? Nobody watches these videos. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at recarding figures. And of course, why? This is what my wife asks and what the police ask. Why are you doing this? Well, there's of course a healthy dose of nostalgia to this. Well, I'm not really a in-package, on-card type of collector. I have a bit of that in my collection, but it's not the main focus. I mostly like to handle my stuff. But there is an appeal to just seeing something on the card. It sort of reminds you of being a kid and walking into the store and that wonder of seeing the stuff on the shelves, especially when it was brand new. I remember, when I found out there was new G.I. Joe figures, I just found out from a kid at school who had one. I'm like, oh, I gotta go to the store and get them. And it's just cool to see them and have that anticipation, like, what if? What? They're right there. I could open them up if I wanted to. And that's very expensive. It's very expensive to get stuff that's, 30 years old now? More? Oh, boy. I hate to think about it. I guess 40, 35? Anyways, it's expensive. And I know that there was people that produce the packages, so you can do this yourself, or they have some for sale that are already recarded. So I went ahead and got them. I got these from Beggars Canyon Toys, and I am really happy with it. I did this a few months ago, actually. I hadn't made the video yet, but after I recarded these two figures here, I felt like it was the best money I'd spent in a long time. They were about only like $12 to $15 per package. You can buy just the card or the card with the blister pack. Of course, you maybe just want the card. These are really well done. Now, Hasbro, you screwed me.
You used me, Skinner! You used me!
Hasbro kind of ruined the timing of this because just a few days ago, they showed the Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow retro O-ring figures that are available for pre-order. I don't think they're coming out till next year, though. And of course, I bought that set. But they weren't doing it. I mean, when the retro series was announced, of course, we thought it was going to be like they did with the Star Wars figure. We thought they were going to reproduce the original figures on these cards, and God, I hate this fake weathering and this giant sticker. Ugh. We thought it was going to be this, but it wasn't. They weren't O-ring figures. They were just modern 25th anniversary type figures on a card that was vaguely original, but not quite. And even these, they don't have the stuff on the back, and the paper is very flimsy. So I didn't buy any of those retro G.I. Joes. I hope the new ones are going to be better, and I hope they keep it going. So you can actually go ahead and buy Storm Shadow, an original Storm Shadow now. Now, it's not exactly the same. For example, they have a bilingual packaging on the new one, where this is just the American packaging. I suppose when I got these as kids, it would have been bilingual, because I grew up here in Canada, where I live. But and there are also some differences with the figures. For example, Snake Eyes includes a backpack and sword from his version 3? Yeah, version 3 figure. Although it's hard to tell, because in some photos he has those accessories. Oh, and the gun as well. And in other photos he doesn't. So I'm not really sure. Oh, and the rivets on the shoulders and elbows appear to be painted. And Storm Shadow's eye paint looks different. And I think they also have a different screw in the thighs. It looks like instead of a Phillips screw, they have these ones that are just sort of the ones that you can tighten only, the special driver. And I heard that the arms are made of PVC, the softer plastic, like the more modern O-ring figures. The strangest thing is that they come in this sort of slipcover or outer box with artwork from V2 Snake Eyes, and inside is the V1 Snake Eyes. So that's an odd choice. But anyway, the point is that this was my very first G.I. Joe. As far as my memory goes, I mean, I don't really trust the human memory, but I think Recondo was my very first G.I. Joe figure that I picked up in a store. And so I wanted to get Recondo, and then my second figure, my first Cobra, was the tele-viper. Because, I couldn't find the Trooper yet. So I believe these were the first two G.I. Joes I ever had. Now, these aren't my first figures. I do have my original Recondo, but I replaced his arms with Repeater's arms because he has a broken thumb and a little wear. But so this is another Recondo I got in an eBay auction a while ago, and his accessories, because my gun is also broken. But and the same with the tele-viper. I do have my original tele-viper, but I don't know which is which. I think I I also got this in the eBay auction, loose, right? So I just repackaged them. So I ordered these from Beggars Canyon. Like I said, they're about 12 bucks each. I ordered these 3 cards. The reason I got Storm Shadow is because I got him for my 8th birthday, I think. Storm Shadow and Optimus Prime in the same day. It was a day to remember, for sure. So I thought I'd do him. I'm doing him last. I'm going to do him in this video. Although, again, it's a poor choice because Hasbro. I guess I should have done this video sooner. And if that weren't enough, Hasbro also had to show off their unexpectedly classic-looking classified Storm Shadow right after I put up the video about my articulated icons stand-in Storm Shadow. Do you think they're watching my channel just to spite me? It's not paranoia if they're actually watching you. Anyway, but these are great. These cards are very good reproductions. It's a nice thick cardstock. They have kind of warped over time. I mean, I've moved house since I bought these, and they've been hanging on the wall in 2 different places. So they've kind of curled a bit, but the quality is thick. It's better than this this paper thin stuff you get with these Hasbro ones. And it has the file card. Again, this is a US version, so there's only English on here. And the best thing that they used to do was they'd show you the other characters on the back of the card. I cannot fathom why they don't do this anymore. Transformers doesn't do it. G.I. Joe doesn't do it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. Because this was so exciting as a kid to look and see, oh, I want this, I want this. You could see the other figures. Sometimes they'd have a mystery, like they would have a silhouette. They wouldn't show you all the figures because they hadn't come out yet. Man, it was great. And the file cards, of course, were a staple of G.I. Joe's as well because it told you who the character is, where they're from, what they're good at. There was so much personality and character infused into it, and you knew who you had in your hands. I don't know why they don't do that anymore. I mean, it's the same characters they're still issuing. I mean, Transformers, Kingdom and Earthrise and all that stuff is the same characters. Just copy the bloody... Anyway, but back to what we're doing here. Yes, so this is the card. It's not perfect. Like the color is not as vibrant. It's like you can kind of see that it looks like it's a bit, I don't know, faded in a way. It's not a exact reproduction, but it is so good. I mean, from more than a foot away, you're not going to know. These are both great. Now, there's 2 ways to actually do the recarding. They show you this on the Beggars Canyon website as well. So they said you can either do it with Elmer's school glue. That's one way to do it. That's the way they used to recommend, but then they changed their mind and they recommend now you do it with double-sided tape. I don't recommend that. I don't agree with that. I did this both ways. So I originally did this one with the 2-sided tape, and it was okay. Did this one with the 2-sided tape, and you can see it's coming off. And maybe that's good. Maybe you want that to be loose so you can take it off later without destroying the card. But hey, it's a reproduction card. Who cares if it gets ripped? You can buy another one for $10. I don't know. I'm after doing it both ways, I recommend the glue, and I'll show you why. So, like I said, that's coming loose. This one I guess I did both ways. I guess I glued it on after the fact. Because this started coming off as well. Now maybe that's just my ineptitude or the bad tape, but I just use Scotch double-sided tape. It's thick. It's hard to handle. So the one thing you have to be mindful of, sorry, Storm Shadow, you have to make sure this is clean and try to keep your fingerprints off of it. So you want to get like a little microfiber cloth to clean this inside and out. There's just a sticker on there because I ordered 3 at a time. They labeled them for me, so I knew which is which. This was Storm Shadow. Of course, I peeled that off the other 2. So you want to clean this up. Make sure there's no dust anywhere. Get your figure ready. This is my original Storm Shadow that I got for my birthday. Now, I stupidly... I had the version 2 Storm Shadow as Storm Shadow by then, and Billy was in the comics wearing Storm Shadow's uniform, basically. So I wanted this to be Billy, and I scratched off his Cobra logo like an idiot. I have since put some... I was going to say retro bright. I just put some hydrogen peroxide on this guy to whiten him up, get rid of some yellowing, and then I put a sticker to put his Cobra logo back on. I looked into getting a different Storm Shadow like I did with these guys, but I don't have one. I wasn't sure if I should really recard my original Storm Shadow or not, but I'm going to. I decided in the end, yes, this is my Storm Shadow. I don't mind if he's not 100% brand new and he's back on the card. I can look at him every day, so that's what I will do. But yes, so the thing with this one is also that these, I mean, this is too thick for the edge of these cards. So what you have to do really is get this tape, unless you can find something better than I did, and pull it off and then cut it, or at least put it on the card. I guess this is what I did is I took a piece off. Like I said, this is thick. You kind of have to cut it with scissors really, because that little cutting edge is not strong enough like it is for regular tape. And then, you know, be careful to keep your fingerprints off it. Is stick it on the inside, line it up nicely, and then take an X-Acto or scissors. I guess maybe you can just rip it because it's serrated. I think I used scissors. Yeah, actually, you can just tear it off pretty well and just cut that to the size. So now you've got a sticky card, and then carefully line it up and stick it on there. Now this is a bit cloudy, but you don't really notice it. So yes, you can do it this way. It's fiddly. It takes a while. And like I said, in the end, the problem for me was that it just fell right off of the card. It wasn't sticky enough. So the way we're actually going to do this is take a bead of Elmer's white school glue and go around, because this does dry clear, go around the entire thing. Make sure you load the accessories in here and the figure. Of course, that's going to be up here, and all the accessories will be separate. And just carefully put that on there. And then the other thing you're going to need is clamps.
Maybe you should give him the clamps, Clamps.
Gee, you think? You think that maybe I should use these clamps that I use every day at every opportunity? You're a freaking genius, you idiot!
Or clothespins. So you can put clothespins all around this. You have to do this all at once though. You cannot just glue half of it and go back and do the rest of it. So you're going to need a lot of these. I have these other little clamps. These are very handy. You can put those on. You could also use these type of little guys, these little clamps I've got here. And let me take those off. I'm just showing you examples. I'll do this properly, but basically, yeah, these are pretty good. You can put these all around. You want to get it down everywhere. Now, what about the other side? Well, I guess you're going to need some big clamps.
The clamps! Right?
And let's see if this will go around. Will it fit? Yes, this should go around, so we can clamp it down the other side and do it like that. The other thing you could do is just get something heavy, like a big heavy book, and put it down on the edge of that thing too. So that's going to be the hard part. Make sure you're ready for that. You've got your clamps ready. So let's get to it. Okay, well there we are. The glue is on. So we'll just carefully put these accessories in there. You get to choose how you want this displayed. Make sure your figure is in the pose you want him to be in. And in he goes to his plastic tomb. Got some glue in the middle part here. Just slowly and thin, remembering it's going to expand when it presses against the cardboard. And I guess this is the safest way to do it. Although I can't see how it's going to line up, so let's try to do this on an angle, I suppose. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold this above my head and look up so I can line it up properly with Storm Shadow laying in the tray. Okay, so now that he's on there, he's going to stay. We just need to kind of slide this around, line it up with the, you know, the colored background. We want the bubble or blister to line up with that and not go over the edge of the card. This one seems to be pretty close. Yeah, right in the corner, I suppose, actually. So, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to use these little clips here. If you don't have these, you can use clothespins. Just kind of keep it right where we left it. And we'll use a big clamp for the other side. Make sure I can access that, actually. Ooh, it's not going to quite fit. We'll just do the corner then. Maybe I can find something heavy to put on top of the other side of that bubble. And I would say you cannot have too many of these because we want the glue to take hold in every possible place. So yeah, what I'm going to do is lay this on the edge of a countertop and then put a heavy book along there. And there's a bit of excess glue that I can see, so all you need is a tissue to get rid of that whilst it's wet. Okay, so let me go weigh that down. Alright, so since the big clamps didn't fit around the bubble, we'll go with the heavy book approach. And appropriately enough, the heaviest books I had nearby were G.I. Joe books. So we'll just put these on the edges. And just for good measure, add some weight. So we'll come back when that's dry and see how it looks. Okay, so I've let that dry overnight, and the glue should be nice and solid now. So we can go ahead and remove this sticker, which we could have done before, of course, but I just didn't bother. And oh, I hope that feels a little sticky. I think that's just the rubber. Yeah, that's just because these are rubber tipped clamps. They feel a little bit sticky on the back of the card, actually. But let's see. I don't think it caused us any damage. Actually, that did leave some indentations, and it took off a bit of the color on the paper here. So I suppose these aren't the best type of clamps to use. Maybe they're too tight, too pointy. Well, okay, so I don't recommend those. It did the job, but it caused a little bit of damage. I suppose the best thing to do would probably be to put a bit of paper here, just some plain paper or paper towel just to protect it, and then you could use whatever clamps you have. The glue seemed to take very nicely. It's transparent when it dries, and you can kind of see the glue in there where the glue is and where the glue is not. And there's a bit of a clouding here where it was too thick, but overall it's not too bad. I did have one of these come loose, and I just glued it back down again on another card. I think I went a bit too heavy on the glue there. I probably should have gone lighter and spread it around. Spread it with a toothpick. I think that would have been a good idea. But anyway, overall it's not too bad. From a distance you're not going to notice that. And it didn't cost me very much. Like I said, it was what, $12 or $15 depending on the character. And then I think they have the whole vintage line. They've got everything from like 1982 or 84 up to about 1988, I think. So yeah, you're getting everything from like Flash and Breaker cards right up to Raptor and Crystal Ball, if you want to put Crystal Ball back in a card. So that's on Beggars Canyon Toys. There may be other companies that produce these, I don't know, but Beggars Canyon Toys is where I got these from, and I'm very happy with them. They're exact. I think, is there any indication on here that this is not official? Okay, Pawtucket. No, even though the copyright and everything is on here. Yeah, of course, the only thing, you know, that you don't want to be doing is reselling these. If this is for your personal collection, it is wonderful. You know, you just want to be careful. I know some people don't like this sort of thing because it makes it hard to buy things on the secondary market, right? If you're looking at this on eBay, it could be passed off as an authentic one. But we'll have to just rely on eBay feedback for that kind of thing and just make sure, hopefully people are honest enough that they won't do that sort of thing. But yeah, like I said, if you're doing it for yourself, I highly recommend these. I got a big kick out of seeing these old figures put back on the cards again. It's close enough for me that I could hang it up on my wall and be very happy with it and not have to spend hundreds of dollars to get a figure on a card. I mean, the cheapest one you could find is probably at least $100 for like a DJ on card, but you know, these days. But you know, to find Storm Shadow on a card would cost you hundreds. I don't even know what the going rate is now, but this is great. Even though I'm missing one, I'm missing the short sword. But what's that? Wakizashi? Anyway, but you know, you can't really tell, so that's okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Beggars Canyon Toys also has some cards for figures that didn't get a carded release, like the fridge, Refrigerator Perry. There's a card for him. There's a card for Zartan because he came with the Swamp Skier, but there's a single card for Zartan. So that's where I would head to find that sort of stuff. And of course, anybody can pick up a bottle of glue and do this themselves with some clothespins. This is an unpunched card if you care about that sort of thing. And they also carry Star Wars cards and other lines besides G.I. Joe as well. So yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to put some glue. You can see this one, by the way. This one's, here's where the tape is coming off, right? This tape is just not very sticky. So I'll probably glue that one on. Glue that guy back on too. Yeah, what do you guys think of that? I don't know if this is something people are interested in. I know G.I. Joe is not very popular on this channel, but do you guys collect on card, loose? But I think this is just terrific. I mean, for $12 plus shipping, I get to relive my 8th birthday, and that is just wonderful. Well, anyway, thanks for checking out this video, and good night.